welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate all the support that I got in the last video. And also, if you're not already doing so, please subscribe to the channel and follow me on my Instagram. Alright, so today, what are we going to do? Today we're going to talk about 10 tips and tricks to use in Lightroom for beginners. Now, I'm not only going to talk about tips and tricks to use in Lightroom, but I'm going to talk about things that I wish that I knew when I first started out photography that would have helped me out a lot. I had a lot of people asking me about some of the things that I do, how I edit my photos, which is why I made that editing your photos video last time. And this time I wanted to kind of dive a little bit deeper into some techniques that you can use and some techniques you can use in Lightroom as well. We'll be using Lightroom CC and Lightroom Classic. We're going to switch between both. So let's talk about the first thing, alright? Okay, so number one. Number one isn't something in Lightroom. Number one is a general rule for most photographers that I know anyways, and that is shooting in RAW. You might hear this a lot if you're a new photographer and you don't really know what it means. Well, I'll explain it to you. So in the video I made last week, I had a lot of submissions, but a lot of people submitted me JPEGs. I couldn't really do anything with them because when you go into post-processing in Lightroom or Photoshop, it's really difficult to, raise the shadows or change the hues and everything because it's a smaller file than you would have for a RAW. For me, for example, I've had a lot of pictures that I took them, like, oh, this is a great picture, and then I look at it and I go, oh man, it's completely overexposed. I don't think I'm going to be able to use this picture. But because I shot in RAW, I can throw it into Lightroom and I'm able to bring it back to life again. So that's one of the advantages of shooting in RAW. Okay, so tip number 2, level your photos out. Fix your horizons. I can't tell you how many times I've been on Instagram looking at photos, scrolling, and then I see a horizon that's kind of slanted and I have to tilt my head like this because the photo isn't level. So it's something that everyone does. When they're first starting out in photography, you see it a lot on Instagram. You see a lot of photos that the horizon's like this, or the buildings are not level. It's really easy. If you just go right into Lightroom, you can do this. So to straighten out the horizons, it's really easy. If you go all the way down to the bottom of your Lightroom application, you will see this geometry slider. And you just take that and you just turn it until you get it to the right spot where you want it to be, and you have those lines that help guide the horizon as well. Or if you don't feel like doing that, you can also just do auto and it will automatically line up the horizon for you as well. Okay, so number 3 is cropping your photos. This is something that you see a lot of new photographers doing on Instagram. They have a great photo, but the subject is just not in the right place in the photo, and if you just did a little bit of a crop in Lightroom, you can correct the scene that you're trying to portray in your photo. There's a lot of times that I've had photos that I've taken that I just did a little bit of a crop and it changed the entire mood of the photo. So the crop tool in Lightroom it's a square icon in the top right corner, and pretty much all you do is just pick the size you want it to be. You could drag the corners and you crop your photo like that. And once you're done, you press enter and you have your photo cropped. Okay, so number 4 is geometry guided. There's a place in Lightroom, if you scroll all the way down, that you have the geometry guided thing. And here you can do auto, which will automatically line your photo up, or you can do it yourself. And this one is a little bit more difficult to explain, so I'm just going to show you right now. So I picked this picture of mine because you can see that the building has those slanted lines. I want them to be straight. I want the building to look like it's an upright building, and I took it from a higher angle than I did. So I go down to the geometry tab, I click guided, and I'm drawing guidelines for Lightroom. I'm telling Lightroom these lines are supposed to be straight and I want them to look straight. So first I'm doing the horizontal lines, and then now I have to do the vertical lines. So I'm telling Lightroom now that these vertical lines should be straight as well, and it's going to completely change the perspective of the photo. You'll see in a second. So now you'll see that Lightroom made it more upright, so it has a different perspective. So number 5 is something that I see a lot of beginners doing as well. This one is not a Lightroom tip, this is just a general tip for photography. Don't overly sharpen your photos. That's something that I will admit I used to do when I first started as well. I had this new camera, this new DSLR, and I thought, oh man, the photos need to be super sharp to make them good. And that's a bad rule. You see that a lot. You see a lot of people putting the sharpness up to like 60, 70 in Lightroom, and it's just not good. You want to keep it sharp, but you also want it to look realistic. You don't want it to look like you have all these black lines that are tracing everything, because when it's too sharp, that's what it looks like. It just looks like you took a little black pen and just colored in every single line in the picture. It looks bad. So that's another rule. Okay, so number 6 is white balance. If you're shooting in RAW, your camera's not gonna do the white balance for you. You need to adjust it yourself in post in Lightroom. A lot of people don't know exactly how to do the white balance, so I will show you how I do it and how most people do it as well. So basically with the white balance, you want to select the part of the photo that is the actual gray of the photo. So you're going to use that white balance selector, you're going to click on it, and you're just going to look in the photo, and you're going to try to find the most gray part you can find, and you click on it, and then Lightroom will correct the white balance for you. Okay, so number 7 is auto. This word is kind of taboo for a lot of photographers, but if you're new to Lightroom, it's really good because there's so many different adjustments that you can make, and it can be overwhelming at first. I'm not saying auto where it adjusts everything auto. I'm saying certain sliders, like for example exposure. If you're new, you maybe don't know what the exposure is, how it should be exposed properly. So you can do auto exposure. So this one's pretty easy. If you hold down the shift key, it'll give you an auto option for everything. All you have to do is double click on the one you want to do auto on, and it automatically changes it for you. Then to reset it, you just go over it and click reset. Okay, so number 8 is adjusting your hues. If you go into Lightroom, you can scroll down and there's a spot that shows all the different colors in the photo. And you can adjust each color accordingly to how you want it to look in the photo. This one's a little more complicated, so let's take a look and see how we can do that in Lightroom. So if you scroll down, you have access to all of the colors in your photo right there. You can adjust the saturation for each individual color and also adjust the hue of each color. This you kind of have to play around with. You can experiment and you can practice with each color and just see how it affects the photo. Okay, so number 9 is linear gradients and radial gradients, and these are two things that I use quite a bit. The linear gradient is something that you can apply to the photo, that you can adjust only that part of the photo. So let's say you have the buildings in a photo perfectly exposed, but the sky is really white and blown out. You can take that and you can scroll it across the screen, and you can actually adjust the exposure and the white balance and the whiteness and the shadows of that part of the photo. Same thing with the radial gradient. You can, let's say you're taking product photography and there's a cup and you want to focus just on that cup. You have everything else in the background as well, but you want the cup to be the main focus. Well, you can put that radial gradient on there, and then you can lower the exposure so everything around that circle that you put on is going to be darker and the focus is going to be on the subject. This is a little more complicated as well if you're new, so we will go into it right now and I will show you how I do it. Okay, so this was a photo from Tony Palomares that I edited in the last video. So to go to linear gradient, you click on that square box right there. And then all you do is you drag it on your picture. And it will show you where you're dragging it. And it puts those lines. And if you press the O button, it will hide the red spots that show where it's being affected. So you can do the highlights and everything without having to look at that red spot, so you see what you're actually doing. Okay, so the radial gradient is the same thing. It's right below it. It's a circle. The only difference is that it's circular. So you drag it on the screen, and then you can move it wherever you want to focus on your subject. And now I'm going to reduce the exposure a little bit to have the Tower of Hercules be the main focus, just like that. Then this is the before and the after when you do a radial gradient. So number 10 is experiment with color profiles. If you're new to photography, you might not know what this is. For me, for example, with my Fujifilm cameras, it's more of a film kind of profile, but Sony has their own, Canon has their own as well. And if you're shooting in RAW, it doesn't apply that profile to your picture. So when you put your picture into Lightroom, you can actually pick, if you go to the top of the screen, you'll see something that says profiles, and it should be on like Adobe Color, I think, just by default. Well, if you have a camera, you can click on that and you can select different profiles that are made just for your camera. So for example, with my Fujifilm camera, I would not be able to use Canon profiles because I don't have a Canon camera. And Lightroom automatically detects which camera you have, so it will put the profiles in there for you automatically. You don't need to put anything on there yourself. Let's take a look at some of the different color profiles you can apply to your pictures. Okay, so this one's pretty straightforward. If you go up there, you see profiles. And if you go all the way down to browse all profiles, and you scroll down to camera matching, you can see all the different profiles for your camera. So these are ones that are unique to my Fuji camera, but you can pick any profile that you want and it will drastically change the way your photos look. These are the Fujifilm profiles, so they're just for my Fuji camera, but Sony has their own and so does Nikon and Canon as well. Pretty much every camera brand has their own profiles. Okay, so those are my 10 tips and tricks to use in Lightroom or photography in general if you're a beginner. I hope that they are useful for you. If you have any questions, please comment below. And if you're not already doing so, please subscribe to the channel and follow me on Instagram. I'll link it below as well. Take care.